I'm David. And we're talking about Big Brother.
Hi, we're back!
We're back with a proper recap for you.
You guys, thank you for your patience. What kind of crazy fool am I to go on vacation in the middle of Big Brother?
Yes, we hope you enjoyed the videos that we put together for you. In the meantime, I owe everybody a big apology.
But we'll loop back to that
get back
later.
to that.
Yes.
Yes, but Sarah's back and I'm very happy about
Yay!
that.
You guys, week 11, we're starting on Wednesday's episode where we're wrapping up Tyler's HOH.
Right.
He had Scotty and Haley both on the block.
Yep.
And Wednesday we see the veto comp.
Right,
which seemed so hard.
It really did.
I kind of was like, this is a veto?
I know.
Sometimes vetoes are
It was
hard.
a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot. But Casey pulled it out.
Casey
Yeah.
on a little bit of a winning streak.
That's right. It sort of makes you think like maybe she was just laying low for a while.
Maybe she's not furniture.
Yeah, right.
So Casey wins. Obviously that means noms are not changing.
Obviously, yep.
And we enter Thursday's episode with Haley and Scotty still on the block.
Still on the block. Nobody's really, well, I shouldn't say nobody. Level 6 knows who the target is, but the folks on the block aren't totally sure, right?
No.
We sort of go into the eviction.
They both think they're pawns.
Yes, right. Scotty and Haley both think they're pawns. And we did see some discussions where Scotty and Haley were talking and kind of comparing notes, and Scotty was telling her that he was told that he was the pawn, and that kind of sent Haley into a tailspin. So it's sort of unclear to them which one of them is going home.
Here's what I thought was interesting, is that Tyler made it clear that Haley is the one he's gunning for.
Yeah.
Even before he was HOH, he was like, Haley's my target. She has got to go. When anyone brought anybody else up, he was like, well, after Haley and not before Haley.
That's right.
Haley put me up as the hacker. She's my target. Makes sense, right?
Because that's the least blood on his hands at that point. If he
she's the only one who has targeted him.
Right.
Like, you want her out.
Exactly. You know she's gunning for you.
When he finally wins HOH, he's now saddled with the fact that Scotty's back, and the majority of the people are like, he's got to go right back out.
That's right.
Especially Brett, who says, well, he put me on the block. He's got to go.
Right.
So I kept waiting all week for Tyler to swoop in, do some like voodoo magic.
Yes.
He's supposed to be the mastermind this season.
Right.
And change that target to Haley.
And I don't think it would be that hard to do because, like Sarah said, you've still got Brett in the house who's targeting Scotty and has a reason to target Scotty and want him out. So Tyler could reasonably come to level 6 and say, look, I know we all want Scotty out, but like, this is my HOH, and like, it's really best for my game and everyone's game. We have to get Haley out eventually. So can we just get Haley out this week? Because she's coming for me, and like, I need to get her out on my HOH. It's the least amount of blood on my hands. I think there's a case to be made there.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really seem to even try to do that. You know, he
There
could
were
say,
like a couple moments that I thought, oh, this is it. Like a sort of like a sentencer here came out.
Right.
And I think he could have easily gotten Angela and Casey to turn, and he wouldn't have even had to talk to JC or Brett.
Right.
But Angela and Casey could have done it. He did not end up actually like really pushing. So Thursday night we see Scotty evicted with a questionable speech.
Yep.
I thought if Scotty thought there was any chance he was not being evicted and staying in the house.
How are you going to explain that speech?
Why?
If you're left in the house.
Why?
Yeah.
But okay, he did that. He exited. He got more goodbye messages. Now, these were interesting to me.
They are sort of switching up the strategy a little bit in the goodbye messages. So Tyler comes out and tells Scotty, I had the Cloud app, I never had to use it, go tell your friends.
Yeah.
And initially I was like, why wouldn't you save this for finale night as this big bombshell? But I'm guessing that Tyler wants people to know in advance of making up their minds about their vote, because you sort of go into finale night for the most part knowing who you're voting for, I think.
Leaning a certain way.
Yeah, so I think he wants the jury to know now that he had this Cloud app power that he never had to use.
And he never had to use, that he was always aware of what was going on.
Right.
Go tell your friends. I thought he pushed that a little too hard.
Yeah, and Scotty didn't buy it. He told Julie, he was like, I'm not telling them anything.
Now, I don't think Scotty can actually keep his mouth shut,
no.
but he knows that that was Tyler's plan, so he at least has that in his head.
Right.
And then, interestingly, Brett and JC, both in their messages, put the blame on Tyler. That Tyler was the one that wanted Scotty out.
Which, honestly, good for Brett for finally waking up to what goodbye messages can do in terms of jury management, because he has just been like so arrogant and laughing in people's faces in these goodbye messages, and that doesn't win you any fans on the jury. So for him to try to pin something on somebody else is better jury management. So hopefully he will continue that strategy.
Then at the end of Thursday's episode, we have a very quick HOH.
Yeah.
They were given 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And like, even if you didn't finish in 3 minutes, we were going to be done.
That's right.
But less than 3 minutes, Casey wins. HOH.
She is on fire. And here's where I owe everybody an apology, right? So when we recorded this video, everyone, you all let me have it in the comments section about how I should have ranked her higher in my rankings.
Yes.
But when we recorded it, she didn't have any of these wins.
No,
she'd only won
her winning streak.
Hacker and I maybe one veto at that point. Now she is HOH.
Yep.
Casey is on fire. So,
so
I would definitely rank her higher. Yes.
Okay.
Everybody can calm down, okay?
All right.
So Casey has come alive now. But it was very close between her and Brett.
It was.
We didn't see that on the Thursday episode because they had the cameras. Yeah, it was all focused on Casey. But then we get to see the slow-mo replay, and it was like back-to-back they're buzzing in, but Casey beat out Brett by like half a second.
I was excited she won an HOH just to have that on her resume, but I also was like, ooh, I know that Level 6 plus JC have had this sort of, we know, you know, Fessy, then Scotty because it comes back in, then Haley, then Sam. Like, they have this whole list, which is a little boring for us to watch because we're like, who will mix it up? And I thought, okay, maybe Casey will mix it up.
Yeah.
Because she works with Sam a little bit. We've seen Sam, she was heartbroken, she could never vote against Casey. Like, no, they're not super close anymore because Sam kind of is by herself, but they have worked together, they're connected. Yeah. But apparently,
she doesn't mix it up.
What am I thinking?
Sam's the pawn, Haley's the target. You know, and I will say, Sunday's episode for me was one of the first kind of boring episodes of the season. There was so little game talk. It was a lot of like goofy segments, packages, things like that. And I think we saw 3 total game conversations in the entire episode. So it was just like, okay, we just have to wait.
And honestly, that's what these producers had to deal with. There's not a lot happening in the feeds that hasn't really already been established. They're just sort of being like, we're good, right? Yeah? Okay? Yep. Oh, Haley, yep,
still
going back on the block. Okay.
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, that's the downside of Level 6 being so loyal.
Right.
Is that to us, we're like, oh my gosh. Like, seriously? We're still getting people out for Level 6?
And that's the thing. Like, I'm thinking at this point, are you really going to be loyal to each other until the very end? Usually these alliances break up and they sort of realize, well, we've got to take shots at each other eventually. So maybe we'll use these outsiders as numbers and start the infighting. But they're not doing that. They are so die hard with each other.
I've got a few things to say about that, but I'm going to save it till the end when we do spoilers. Yes. But I will say, on one hand, if those 4 make it to Final 4, on one hand, I'm going to be super impressed. Wow, you guys did that. Yeah. That's amazing.
And it never
But on the other hand, it's going to probably be so boring. And by then, we will be like pulling our hair out, going, please, like fight against each other.
Somebody make a move. That's impressive, you know?
So the only non-boring thing that happened on Sunday's episode was the proposal, I thought.
Cute. I thought it was so adorable. And I've been a fan of Nicole for years. Yeah. So I was super excited to see her back, and I just thought it was great. They really like tricked her into thinking she was going to host this competition.
Like, house guest?
Yeah, she's like, where is everybody?
That was cute.
Yeah, so that was adorable.
I don't really follow house guests after they leave the house.
Me neither,
We're game people.
Yeah.
So, you know, good luck to you out there in the real world.
Right, yeah.
But I do remember hearing when Nicole and Victor started dating, and I was like, that's cute. Yeah. And we're excited that they're on The Amazing Race coming up. We're so excited about that.
Yeah.
But this proposal I just thought was adorable.
Yeah.
I remember season 18 thinking Victor trying to like flirt with Nicole was one of the best parts of season 18. Right. It was adorable. Yeah. Corey was in the way.
I know. Victor was so butthurt that Nicole was like flirting with Corey. Yeah. And now he gets his fairy tale ending.
But now they're together.
Yeah. And it was cool to see like the current house guests because they brought in like winners, icons, like Paul, Josh, Derek, like a lot of like big names in BB history. So it was cool to see these house guests kind of get to see them and interact with them and like sort of be starstruck. Like,
yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Danielle and Brittany in forever.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay, So that Sunday's episode ends with the actual noms going on the block, Sam and Haley.
Now, one more interesting thing I thought before the end of Sunday's episode. The noms go up. Sam has been told that she's the pawn by Casey, but we get this diary room piece with Sam where she says that if she was told she was the pawn, and if she gets sent home this Thursday, she is gonna rip the doors off the hinges and tear the limbs from these house guests and go on a tirade. And I'm like, okay, as many segments as we have gotten from Sam of going nuts in the house and hating everybody who is in this house with her, and like she feels useless and she's got stains on her sweatpants, but who cares because she's just a terrible garbage human being. She's not giving up, people. She is still in this for the money. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, she is miserable in the house. It's for sure.
Yeah.
She's also, I don't know, not quite there.
Yeah.
But she has never once tried to get out of the house, and she has always sucked up to the HOH. But she also does have some like anger things. So if somebody were to lie to her, I kind of do think she would rip the doors off of this place.
Yeah.
Spoilers!
Yeah, spoilers. We're still fine-tuning that.
We are. We're gonna work on that. Veto.
Right.
Who's on a winning streak?
Casey.
Casey.
Third veto win in a row. I mean, could she win out this season?
She could.
She might be able to. She is on a roll right now.
And this was, BB Comics was this competition. That's not like catching footballs.
Nope.
That's
smarts, memory.
That's,
yeah.
So that's things. Impressive.
Yeah. Apparently it was very close with her and Tyler. But
her time was way quicker than anybody else's in history. If you look back at BB Comics, no one does it in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
She did.
No, I know. It's crazy.
So obviously she's not going to change her noms.
No, why would she get more blood on her hands? Like, that would be ridiculous.
So here's where I want to loop back to talk about level 6 a little bit more and their loyalty.
Yes.
I was slightly disappointed that Casey just boringly put up Haley and Sam without thinking about anybody else.
Right.
But I have to remember that we know that JC has been talking about targeting Angela for a long time.
But she doesn't know that.
But she doesn't know that. And I thought, but she's not that close with JC. But on the other hand, he does appear that he's working with them. So maybe I'm seeing more than she's seeing.
Sure.
But I also have been slightly annoyed with the fact that Tyler and Brett have not mentioned that JC is blatantly saying Angela and Casey have to go on the block. Angela's my target. She's getting out of here.
Especially Brett. JC has been lobbying Brett hard with this plan, and Brett has not said a word to anyone. Now, what I will say is that maybe Brett feels a little bit on the outs with the foursome, and so he's just keeping his options open, and he doesn't feel the need to tell anyone.
Or maybe this is just him being with, fake with JC.
Right.
Maybe it doesn't mean anything.
Right. But neither Brett nor Tyler has said a peep about this, and this could be important information to Casey to know, especially right after she's won the veto and she's considering whether she's going to change noms or not and who her target should be.
There was a time last week when I thought, wait, is Tyler choosing JC over level 6? Like, is JC becoming more valuable? Which I don't see. That confuses me.
Right.
But I will say, so after Casey won veto, it was like, I think it was like early Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Tyler finally brought it up to Casey and was like, man, JC's really bold and ballsy. Like the things he says to me, he has said he wants Angela out next week. And of course, Casey's like, what?
Yeah.
But then he also reveals, he said Casey and Angela will go up together. And Casey's like, nah, he'd never put me up.
No.
And so that really opened my eyes to why Casey didn't even question putting JC up. She wanted Sam up because she thinks that JC would never put her up.
Right. And
she feels comfortable.
Yeah, and her whole justification is that JC has said to her, like, they have this LGBTQ bond, which I get, right? Like, I'm part of that community too. Like, I think if you were like one of 2 people in the house who shared that in common, you would feel like, okay, we're tight. Truthfully, JC's not targeting Casey.
True.
He's targeting Angela to get her out of the house. But Casey refuses to even believe that JC would put her up on the block at all next to Angela. But JC definitely is doing that. Like, that's the plan, and Casey is sort of blind to it.
Yeah. Tyler also was sort of like, I hope that JC's not really pulling Brett in, because I know he's in Brett's ear, but Brett's not bringing this stuff back to us like he used to. I'm worried, kind of expressing fears about that.
Absolutely.
And she's like, nah, he's good. He's loyal. He's good. He's good. So she is like a little too confident for my...
Yeah.
That doesn't make me comfortable at all that she's this comfortable.
But I think the truth of the matter is, like, as shocking as this, like, plan is or could be that JC wants to put Angela and Casey up on the block, what would be more shocking and unnerving to me if I'm a member of Level 6 is that I didn't hear about this from Brett. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
JC revealed that all these conversations are happening with Brett, and I never got wind of it from Brett at all.
Right.
What does that suggest about Brett's loyalty?
Right. That would be concerning, right? Monday, after veto ceremony happens and Casey does not change noms are locked.
Yeah.
Brett does finally sort of hint to Tyler that JC has this thing against the girls, and they kind of laugh that, well, JC just doesn't like girls.
Yeah, right.
And Brett kind of agrees of like, it's not a bad thing if the girls got out. And Tyler's like, yeah, but I do think the girls are with us. And Brett's like, yeah, you think they're with us? And he's like, yeah. So it was unclear exactly what that conversation was, except that it seemed like they agreed Level 6 is still the strong entity.
Ish, you know what I mean? Like, it sort of feels like maybe it's the beginning of them acknowledging, like, well, we have to take shots at each other eventually, so like, maybe we keep JC around and he can do it and we don't have to. Like, that kind of thing, right?
Right. Or are we the 4? Because once you're the 4, you can take shots at each other. You have to.
You have to, right. So it'll be interesting to see where their strategy goes from here. Now, what I have been disappointed with from Haley this week is her campaigning strategy. At first I thought, okay, maybe she's gonna wait for the veto to see how they, I know, right? For the past 3 weeks. At first I was like, maybe she's gonna wait for the veto, see how that plays out, and then really come hard with her pitch, you know, for why people should keep her. But I'm wanting something from her that's like, use me as a number. Save me and I will be completely loyal to you. I owe my game to you. I will do it. I will vote whichever way you want me to. And sort of somebody needs to lay out the hierarchy of Level 6 to Level 6 and make a pitch like, you're on the bottom, but I could help you get one of the people out on the top. But there's nothing happening like that. It's just kind of like, you have me, as we saw on Sunday's episode over and over again, you have me, but she's not really making a more compelling case, and I think there's a more compelling case to make.
Here's the thing, even if she were to do that, I don't think it would work.
No,
that's the thing. The 4 members of Level 6 are pretty good at this game.
Yeah.
They can win competitions, except for Brett.
Right.
But he's close, so he's probably due any minute now. Yeah. But he's strategic and he's smart and he's got a good social game. So I feel like all 4 of them, it doesn't actually matter who's the bottom of their little group.
Yeah.
I think that they already know they've used Haley as a number as much as they could.
Yeah.
And they don't need her anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, what? So they keep her 1 more week and get Sam out instead? What difference is that to them?
Right.
I just don't think it would work.
Yeah.
I think Haley has tried her hardest to have a social game. She has bonded. She honestly was so close with Casey last week. They were like best buds.
Yeah.
And Casey was like, cool, let's be friends. And then Casey wins and like, cool, I'll put you up. Like, she can't win for losing.
And you have to get Haley out at this point because there are so many members of the Hive on the jury, right? You can't really keep Haley around and give her any sort of shot at making it to the final 2 because she could have a lot of jurors in her pocket the farther she makes it.
If she made it to final 2, she wins.
So they're probably like, let's just get her out, and then the playing field is, you know, more level among the rest of the people in the house.
Yeah. I just think it's real dangerous to just stick to your guns and say, we're solid.
Yeah.
We get Haley out this week, then we get Sam out, then we'll get JC out.
Yeah.
And not really have any fear that JC might come for you because he might be the only thing that puts a wrinkle in Level 6's plan.
That's right. And I'm thinking if they keep up with this Level 6 thing to the final 4, well then it's just a game of chance. You're not really taking the game into your own hands, and it's just sort of, it depends on who wins the HOH. Whereas like if you make a move before the final 4, you're really like taking the reins of this game and getting somebody out from your alliance. That's a big move. But if you're just like loyal, which I guess works for some people, but you're loyal to the final 4, then you just have to hope that you're going to win an HOH and be able to take the first shot. Because if you don't take the first shot, then you could be shot, basically.
Right. Well, I feel like Tyler truly believes he'll win. I mean, win his way to the end is what I mean. Like, it doesn't matter who's in the final four with him because I think he believes he can win in a competition.
Yeah.
Now I think Casey thinks, well, I'll just win.
Yeah.
We'll go back and forth. Tyler win, Casey win, Tyler win, Casey win. I think that Angela probably thinks, well, I have a pretty good shot at winning too.
Yeah.
Brett, I think, is the only one who's like, I'm gonna try.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know how worried they are about this. I don't know. It's crazy. It's so odd to see such a loyal group. And I don't know. I don't know how that pays off. I don't know.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like all four of them have a really good case to win.
I think so too.
And I think JC unfortunately has a case to win, and I can't handle it. So get him out.
I think they will. He can't really win anything.
Oh my God, if he just accidentally wins something, I will lose my mind.
Yeah, if he's playing it even cooler than Casey and is still just trying to be under the radar and waiting for his moment to win things, and then all of a sudden JC goes on a winning streak, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
No. I mean, I'm gonna hold on to the fact that he can't win, but he might. So,
yeah, right.
Oh my gosh. And then what do they do? Because they don't have the numbers.
Yep.
It's too low. So one of them goes.
Yep.
Woo!
It'll get interesting eventually. This week was not so interesting, I don't think. I think we're going to see Haley go home this week.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably see Sam go home.
Right.
But who knows?
If Sam has a freak out, they might take her out this week, but then they're just going to take Haley out next week.
Right.
I don't think the next 2 weeks really are going to have anything exciting for us.
Right.
And this week is a double eviction.
Right, which could mix things up in a big way, let's hope.
Or level 6 makes it the most boring double eviction ever.
And we just send Sam home in the double eviction.
But that could be good, because then we get the boring weeks done quickly.
Get it over with, yes. And then it will get good eventually.
Yes.
We know that much.
Because either JC goes up or JC splits up level 6. And that's, either way is exciting.
Right.
What do you guys think?
Oh, let us know. Please forgive me for ranking Casey so low.
It was just temporary, you guys.
It was temporary. I've learned my lesson.
It's very, very, very good to be back, you guys. Tell us what you're thinking.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.